Imagine you are floating in a void so silent it feels like the universe has held its breath. You are 3 billion miles from home, a distance so vast that the sun, the giver of all life, is now nothing more than a cold, distant spark in a shroud of endless black. You are falling. Below your boots, a marble of impossible, piercing sapphire looms, glowing with a ghostly, bioluminescent radiance. It looks like a sanctuary, a calm, watery jewel in the wasteland of the outer solar system. You think, for a fleeting second, that this might be beautiful, but as the silence is replaced by a low, vibrating hum in your chest, you realize the blue isn't water. It's a mask, and you are about to hit the veil of a world that was never meant to be seen by human eyes. Welcome to Neptune. You have exactly 1 second to live. From a distance, Neptune is the crown jewel of the gas giants. It carries the name of the god of the sea, draped in a serene, deep azure that suggests a peaceful, frozen ocean. It's a color that invites you in, a stark contrast to the violent, bruised ochre of Jupiter, or the pale, sickly rings of Saturn. It looks solid. It looks like a place where you could find a foothold, but something is wrong. As you break the upper atmosphere, the sapphire hue begins to shift. That beautiful blue is actually a chemical graveyard, a thick, suffocating haze of methane, hydrogen, and helium. There is no surface to land on. There is no ground to meet your feet. To fall into Neptune is to fall into a bottomless pit of shadows where the light of the sun has been dead for billions of years. But here's the problem. Before you even have time to scream, the scale of this world begins to rewrite the laws of your own biology. Neptune is nearly 4 times the size of Earth, a massive rotating ball of fury that drags the very fabric of space-time around with it. As you descend, the gravity doesn't just pull you, it claims you. It's a heavy, visceral weight that feels like an invisible hand reaching inside your chest and squeezing your lungs flat. Your heart struggles to pump against a force that wants to turn your blood into lead. But it gets worse. As you sink deeper into the blue haze, the wind finds you. On Earth, a hurricane is a catastrophic event that levels cities. On Neptune, a hurricane is the only thing that exists. You are now being whipped by winds that move at 1,200 miles per hour, supersonic speeds that break the sound barrier. These aren't just gusts of air, they are invisible blades of frozen gas. They move faster than a fighter jet, faster than the speed of a bullet. If you were to hold out your hand, the friction of the wind against your suit would generate enough heat to melt the fabric, while simultaneously freezing your skin to the bone. You are a rag doll in a cosmic blender, being torn apart by a storm that has been raging since before the first human walked upright. And this is where things change. The beauty of the blue is gone now. It's getting dark. A darkness so absolute it feels heavy, like a physical liquid pressing against your eyes. You are now passing through the clouds of ammonia and hydrogen sulfide. The smell, if you could breathe it, would be the stench of 1,000 rotting graves, but you can't breathe. The atmospheric pressure is mounting. At this depth, the air is no longer a gas. It's becoming a thick, soup-like, supercritical fluid. NASA's Voyager 2 flew past this blue demon in 1989, snapping photos of a great dark spot, a hole in the atmosphere the size of the entire Earth. That spot was a vortex of such unspeakable violence that it simply vanished a few years later, only to be replaced by another. You are now inside that vortex. The pressure outside your suit is now equivalent to being 3 miles underwater on Earth. Every joint in your suit is screaming. the titanium begins to groan. The glass of your visor begins to spiderweb, blooming with tiny crystalline fractures. But that's not even the worst part. As you are crushed and whipped through the darkness, the temperature begins to do something impossible. In the upper reaches, you were enduring minus 350 degrees Fahrenheit. A cold so biting, it turns molecular motion into a crawl. But as the pressure mounts, the physics of the planet flip. The core of Neptune is a furnace. The further you fall, the hotter it gets, until you are trapped in a paradoxical nightmare. You are freezing and burning at the exact same moment. The environment is now so dense that you aren't really falling anymore. You are sinking through a hot, electrified ocean of liquid ice. Scientists call this hot ice, a substance that shouldn't exist in our understanding of reality. It's a searing metallic slush that conducts electricity. Thousands of miles above you, the planet's magnetic field is screaming, whipped into a frenzy by the planet's lopsided rotation. This triggers lightning bolts so powerful, they make the strikes on Earth look like static sparks on a carpet. The sky around you is constantly flickering with the strobe light of a billion-volt apocalypse. But here is the hidden danger. The thing that no one tells you about the heart of the blue giant. Deep within this crushing, electrified sea of methane, the pressure reaches a breaking point, literally. The carbon atoms in the atmosphere are squeezed with such godlike force that they crystallize. It begins to rain. But it isn't raining water. It is raining diamonds. Thousands of carats of jagged raw diamond shards are being forged in the sky above you and falling like hailstones through the interior. In any other world, this would be a treasure. Here, it is a localized bombardment. You are being pelted by trillions of gems, each one accelerated by the supersonic winds, turning you into a sieve of shredded flesh and carbon. And this is where the final consequence finds you. You have reached the point of no return. The pressure is now millions of times higher than anything the human frame was designed to withstand. Your bones don't just break, they atomize. The atoms that make up your body are being forced into spaces they were never meant to occupy. You are no longer a person. You are a streak of organic matter being dissolved into a metallic ocean of liquid diamond and ionic water. There is no bottom to hit. There is only the core, a rock the size of Earth, shrouded in a layer of exotic ice, where the temperature is hotter than the surface of the sun. But you won't see it. You didn't even make it past the first layer of clouds. We look at the stars and we see gods. We look at Neptune and we see a beautiful sapphire guardian at the edge of our neighborhood. We tell ourselves that the universe is a map waiting to be explored, a series of frontiers waiting to be conquered. But the reality is much colder. Neptune is a reminder that the universe is not our home. It is a vast, beautiful, and utterly indifferent machine that builds worlds out of diamonds and fire just to let them spin in the dark for eternity. We are tiny, fragile accidents of biology, protected by a thin layer of oxygen on a lucky rock. The sapphire glow of Neptune isn't a beckoning light. It's a warning. Some places weren't meant to be touched. Some secrets were meant to remain buried in the blue. Because in the vast, screaming silence of the outer reaches, there is no room for life. There is only the storm, and the storm does not care if you are watching. The universe was never meant for us. We are just the only ones brave or foolish enough to look into the abyss and call it beautiful.